This is a demonstration we did in class. What you're looking at is copper sulfate crystals that have been dehydrated. And what happens is that it changes colors. So what I'm going to do is put a little water in on top of these crystals. And you're seeing right now what's happening. We're getting almost a greenish blue here, like a turquoise. As these guys are getting hydrated, they will turn blue and sometimes a brown. Because they've been heated, some of the copper 2 has been changed to the copper 1 state, and now with the water in there, these crystals turn back to blue or a greenish blue, depending on how much the copper has been heated in prior demonstrations throughout the day. Now, when we start heating these guys, you're going to see some changes. So let's go ahead and get that started. Okay, I'm starting up my flame right now, and we just use a little tiny flame. And that flame, there we go, you can see it there. It's just a little tiny burner. And we're going to go ahead and start heating this. And as we do, you're going to see some really big changes in this copper sulfate as it turns from, see, I don't think you can hear it yet, but the water is boiling in there. There you go. You can see it in the picture. Okay, and some of that copper is green, but it's going to go back to white when all the water is gone. Okay, and the water is more than just the water that you see bubbling. It's the water that you see that is going to come out as, yeah, you're getting a little steam coming up. I'm trying to protect my camera because it's directly over this, and I don't want that spattering to get up into the lens. But this is a fun little demonstration. And now I'm heating underneath, and I'm moving the flame around a lot. And as I do that, you're going to see as the water evaporates, not just the liquid water, but the water that's attached to the copper sulfate. And here we go. Okay, there it goes. Now we're getting very little water left here. And you're seeing popping, things jumping around, and pretty soon you're going to start seeing this stuff turn to a white. Excuse me. Okay, so now you can start to see patches of white. The white is where the water has totally disappeared and has been separated from the crystal itself. Okay, as I turned off the recording, the material is getting whiter and whiter as it changes colors. That's your indicator that the water is gone. And it will turn into its white form, which is just plain old copper sulfate. Without the water, with the water, it's called a hydrate. And copper sulfate forms a pentahydrate, which means that we have 5 waters attached to every single sulfate, copper sulfate, yeah, to each copper sulfate molecule. Okay, and copper is in the 2 state, which means it's a 2 plus, so there's 1 copper and 1 sulfate. And now you can see the blue evaporating more and more from the sides of the bigger pieces that are in here. And so we'll just let this heat a little bit longer, and you'll be able to see the whole process from start to finish. You can see the white on the outside, and we're just getting the last of the blue out of there as it continues to evaporate the water from out of the crystals. And as they're hooked into the crystals, that's what we call the copper sulfate, not magnesium, copper sulfate, and it's a penta, meaning 5. So copper sulfate pentahydrate is the way we name this. And away goes the blue as we heat this guy. And as we continue to heat, you're going to see some greenish blue or turquoise, bluish green. That is where the copper has been changed from a 1 plus to a, from a 2 plus to a 1 plus, and that has the different color than the blue of the copper 2 ion. That's why you see brown underneath, or turquoise, whatever that is, because I don't see colors very well. And there you have it. Now the fun thing is that when we let this cool off a little bit, okay, I'm trying to feel how hot it is because I don't want to break the evaporating dish, and so we're going to put a little bit of water in with a squirt bottle, and I'm going to try and hit the crystals and watch as they turn to a bluish color. There we go, coming up. Got to be very careful. If I put too much water in here, I'll crack the dish. There we go. I don't know if you can hear the sizzling in there, but you see as soon as that water hits, it's being absorbed by the crystals. And as it's absorbed by the crystals, it changes color, which tells you that it is now hydrated again into the copper 2 oxidation state, which is simply that's the charge on the ions. Just a little bit, and you're seeing how that changes back now. So you've seen it go both ways. Hope you enjoy this.